In 1991, Mumbai police arrested a man on charges of forging visas and cheating. But little did the police know that after his release, he would set on a mission to mastermind one of the biggest scams in India. This is the story of Abdul Karim Telgi and his empire of fake stamp papers. Born on 26 July 1961 in Belgaum, Karnataka, Abdul Karim Telgi lost his father early. Caught up in financial turmoil, his childhood was not so easy. He did odd jobs at Khanapur railway station, selling peanuts and fruits. Undeterred by the financial hardships, he pressed on with his studies. But throughout his childhood, he never lost sight of his goal of making big money. In the 70s, thousands of unskilled laborers from India were migrating to the Gulf during the oil boom. Telgi was one of them. But he was not happy with the work and was eager to come back to India. In the late 70s, he returned to Mumbai and took up a job as a sales executive. But the legal way of earning was too slow for his liking. By that time, waves of unskilled laborers, mostly uneducated, were leaving India for the Gulf. With the rising demand for cheap labor abroad, Telgi sensed an opportunity. He started his company, Arabian Metro Travels, to export manpower to the Gulf countries, forging documents to bypass immigration officials. But in 1991, the Mumbai police arrested him on charges of forgery and cheating, and Telgi was put behind bars for 3 years. But inside, he found his partner, and together they would devise a plan that would change their lives forever. The early 90s saw a shortage of stamp paper throughout the country. Telgi came to know that the most unmonitored government department at the time was of Stamp Paper Office. Sanjay Singh, then a journalist with NDTV, who later went on to write a book on Telgi, talks about Telgi's association with Ram Ratan Soni.
Ram Ratan Soni was actually his guru. He gave him some idea and all. When Telgi came out of the jail, he had a complete blueprint of entire scam. What the scam will be, what will be the hierarchy, what will be the structure, what will be the process, flow. It was more like, very much like a corporate level of functioning. He had every blueprint of actually his scam when he came out of jail, and then he started implementing this, and slowly he became big actually. Big.
Upon his release in 1994, Telgi acquired a business license. But he needed machinery and intel to print stamp papers. A special printing machine at the government security press in Nasik was out of service. After its shelf life, the machine was supposed to be destroyed and sold as scrap. He was able to buy the machine at the auction that was rigged in his favor and ensured that the machines were not destroyed as they were meant to be. He also acquired the production plan of the government press so that he could print identical paper. Sanjay Singh says that it was nearly impossible to tell the difference between the Telgi stamp papers and the original stamp papers. This marked the beginning of Telgi's fake stamp paper scam that would shake the entire country. But in June 1995, Mumbai police seized stamp papers from Telgi, suspected to be fake. The police sent the papers to the security press for verification and testing. All the 331 stamp papers were found genuine. Interestingly, the officials at the government stamp office informed the police that though the papers were genuine, it was not sold by them. So, who did? The police later dropped the investigation, and for Telgi, this was another shot in the arm.
It's not only just Mumbai police or just Pune police or any other one single police. Everywhere in local terms, he has the support from local underworld to politician to police. And police actually knew it. And there are many reported incidents where he had bribed police and police has taken money from him. And some of the cases, even it is mentioned in the charge sheet that police were actually active partner with him. Some of the police officers, they sold this seized stamp into the market and earned money and shared it with Telgi.
Telgi set up operations to print counterfeit stamp papers and sold them to institutional buyers at heavy discounts. But the scam wasn't possible without the collusion of officials in the government departments. Telgi knew that bribes would motivate officials to look the other way while he acquired a huge fortune. According to some reports, at its peak, Telgi's fake stamp empire was to the tune of 30,000 crore rupees.
Even there is a legend actually which says there is in one single night, Telgi spent more than 80 lakh rupees on a single, he showered money on a bar dancer in a single night. That was more than 80 lakh rupees. In those days, in 2003, the gold per tola, per 10 grams was 4,400 rupees. So if you calculate by that thing, so he showered around 20 kilogram of gold on a bar dancer on a single night. That was the kind of money he had. He was minting money actually. Stamp paper is as good as a currency.
But his lavish lifestyle soon came back to haunt him. In the year 2000, the police received a tip on the inflow of fake stamp papers. 2 couriers belonging to Telgi were caught in Karnataka. He was soon nabbed and sent to a jail in Bangalore. But there was no stopping Telgi.
When he was arrested by Bangalore police, and then Pune police officer went to meet him in jail and all to interrogate in some other matter. Telgi started up the nexus with him and started doing business with him. And later same happened with Mumbai police. And Mumbai police officer went to investigate him into the jail, Karnataka jail. He started doing business with Telgi.
After his release, the police began tapping Telgi's phone and kept an eye on him. In November 2001, Telgi was in Ajmer Sharif Dargah.
And since it was a religious place, it might have been ignited the communal flare also. So it was a difficult thing, but the police officer, he went there, he spoke to him, he told him Lala. One of his name was also Lala. So he said, Lala, business ki baat kar. Then Telgi came into sight. Well, Telgi assumed that he must be knowing him. Telgi came into sight, and then Bangalore police, the Karnataka police nabbed him. And then they took him away. Then he was lodged into the Karnataka jail. But it was not end of Telgi. Even after he was lodged into Karnataka jail, his business was keep on going and all. In fact, it was not being maintained. It was growing with the help of Pune police and Mumbai police.
Further investigation led to the discovery that politicians, government officials, and influential leaders who were part of the Nasik press were also involved in the scam. Telgi pleaded guilty and was convicted. He was given 30 years of imprisonment and a huge fine of rupees 202 crores. Later, the imprisonment was cut down to 13 years. He tested HIV positive in 2002. Sanjay Singh recalls his 2 meetings with Telgi.
There were those 2 meetings, and I felt like I met a 2 different kind of person. 2 different Telgis actually, 2 different human beings. In first one, he was very smart, looked very cunning, talking very, very selfishly and smartly, everything was doing and all. And the second meeting, he looked to me as a very tired man, and it was someone who has surrendered. Doesn't have any hope for further everything open, and he was in a very bad health shape also.
After suffering from diabetes and hypertension for around 20 years, Telgi died aged 56 on 23rd October 2017 at Victoria Hospital in Bangalore. He died before his imprisonment tenure was over. After his death, all the charges and allegations were withdrawn and people were released.
The always question remained those people who had benefited from Telgi's scam. All of them were actually, they were brought to the justice and all. The answer is clearly no, not all of them. Many survived actually because lack of evidence and other kind of thing and all. And since lot of political pressure was also there, politicians were involved, police officers were involved. Obviously, there's the one person, if Telgi actually, you thank, you convict Telgi, put all the blame on Telgi, and rest all are actually, some of them can be saved. That's very, very likely chances that has